BTS news today. The rain hadn't fallen that day, but the skies over Seoul had been cloudy since morning. The clock showed 10:34 a.m. when a HYBE security staff member suddenly jogged toward the main post, looking slightly panicked. In his hand, he clutched two printed CCTV images, which would spread rapidly across the internet. Just hours later, no official announcements had been made. There were no scheduled activities on BTS's public calendar. But the two figures who had been off the radar, the two names dominating discussions for the past 3 weeks, were caught silently entering HYBE's main building today. Jungkook and Jimin. At first, no one believed it. Armies assumed it was fan-made manipulation. But once video clips surfaced, complete with timestamps and camera numbers in the top corners, all doubt vanished. It was them. Jungkook, in a black hoodie and low-slung cap covering almost his entire face. Jimin, wearing a dark blue jacket and a thick mask, his petite shoulders and unmistakable gait giving him away. They didn't enter together, but their arrivals were only 3 minutes and 17 seconds apart. And what made it even more suspicious, they entered through the back door, not the main artist entrance. The news exploded instantly on X, Twitter, TikTok, and quickly climbed to #1 trending on Weverse. Armies were frantic with questions. Why were they sneaking in? What were they hiding? Was this connected to Jimin's absence in the recently announced world tour lineup? Or was there something even bigger they were quietly preparing? HYBE remained completely silent throughout the day. Even usually talkative staff on internal forums went suspiciously quiet. But not long after the CCTV images went viral, a source from the audio production team, who wished to remain anonymous, gave a small leak. They said that the 6th floor, a closed studio only used for secret projects, had been active since morning. According to them, faint sounds of laughter and 2 harmonizing voices were heard from inside. They said the floor was under renovation, the source said. But I know that sound. That sound. It's the sound that always makes hearts tremble. Speculation erupted instantly. Could this mean Jungkook and Jimin were working on a secret duet project? But why in secrecy? Why not through HYBE's official channels? Was this part of an independent project they planned to release outside BTS's formal schedule? Or was this the beginning of a split? That last theory sounded dramatic and terrifying, but many armies couldn't shake off their anxiety, especially after Jimin was left out of the tour announcement earlier this month. No explanation had been given, no clarification, and now, both of them were seen entering HYBE together, with no staff, no media coverage. Judging by how they entered, Jungkook first, then Jimin, it didn't seem like a formally scheduled agenda set by management. They clearly didn't want to be seen, yet boldly came to the one place they had been avoiding for 2 weeks, headquarters. Perhaps the most shocking part was that Jungkook had been known to be abroad for brand activities, his last confirmed sighting in LA just 3 days ago. How was he already in Seoul this morning without anyone knowing? Had he secretly returned for something urgent? Even more surprising, at around 1 p.m. Korea Standard Time, a food delivery person who frequently delivers to HYBE revealed that an order had come from the 6th floor. 2 meals, each with the special request: no onions, extra honey. A quirky but well-known preference of Jungkook and Jimin. That tiny fact only strengthened theories that they had been inside the building all afternoon, most likely working on vocals, recording, or even rehearsing choreography. But not even 2 hours after the news broke, a black car was spotted exiting HYBE's basement at high speed. No fans or media managed to catch a clear glimpse of who was inside, but some claimed they saw a small hand wave from the back window. That wave was immediately interpreted as a sign. Were they signaling Army that everything was okay? Armies worldwide began crafting their own theories. One popular X thread suggested that Jungkook, Jimin, and Jungkook were likely preparing a surprise project to be revealed before the Seoul concert, a gesture to reassure fans they were still united. Another thread proposed that their recent 2-week public absence was a cover, and they had actually been secretly working on a large-scale performance piece not listed in any official calendar. Suspicion only grew when, later that night, one of Jimin's go-to-dance studios was seen lit up past midnight. Someone from a neighboring studio claimed music resembling a new remix of Filter and Standing Next to You was playing on loop. Why hadn't HYBE announced anything? Was the project still too early to reveal? Was it a personal endeavor? Or And this possibility gave fans chills. Was HYBE unaware? If the last theory were true, today could mark a historic moment in Jungkook's journey, their first step outside the bounds of management. It would mean they had intention, they had purpose, and they were ready to face the consequences to send a message to ARMY. Some armies even compared today's events to BTS's early days, when they had to do everything from the ground up, in secret, without major support. Is this a symbol of going back to their roots? Wrote a fan on Weverse. Jungkook and Jimin, they're starting something. Maybe not for the world, but for us. For the BTS of yesterday and today. Meanwhile, major fanbase accounts like at Jungkook Daily and at BTS Hidden Notes released detailed analyses of their movements, matching timestamps, leaked audio from outside HYBE, and building a meticulous timeline. One analysis highlighted that today's date, August 6th, was the exact anniversary of their first joint showcase inside HYBE 7 years ago. Coincidence? Or a deliberate narrative? As the night deepened and no official statements emerged, something unexpected happened. Around 11:20 p.m. Korea Standard Time, Jungkook's official Instagram story updated. A blurry image, dominated by shades of blue and purple, appeared with a tiny phrase in the corner, "Don't tell them yet." ARMY erupted. Thousands of comments flooded in within 5 minutes. Some cried, some laughed in panic. Nearly all agreed. They were planning something big, something that could shift the entire story's direction. Was this the beginning of a new Jungkook era? Or the unveiling of something that had long been hidden? One thing was certain. Today, they didn't disappear. They appeared, quietly, yet they sent a signal that they weren't done, that there's still a story they want to tell. That even in silence, a powerful plan is blooming. And tonight, the skies over Seoul are still gray. But no one feels alone, because for the first time in weeks, we know they're still here. Together, even in silence. It's 12:03 a.m. in Seoul. Traffic in Gangnam is thinning. But outside HYBE's building, dozens of fan-site vehicles are starting to line up. Cameras with long lenses aim at every 6th floor window. Some fans even set up TikTok live streams, hoping to catch a silhouette behind the curtains. Inside, there's no light. HYBE is dark as usual, but ARMY knows. Their instincts are never wrong. Suddenly, fansite at HYBE uploads a 14-second video. 2 shadowy figures briefly appear on the rooftop. One is seated at the edge, hoodie fluttering in the wind. The other stands behind him, hands in pockets. No sound is heard, but their body language is intense. And at second 11, the seated figure looks toward the distant camera and gently points to his chest, where the heart beats. ARMY explodes. The comments section is flooded with analysis. "That's Jungkook," one writes, and the one standing is Jimin. "Look at the way he stands, hands in his pockets. That's him." Minutes later, something even more stunning happens. BTS's official Spotify playlist updates. The top song isn't a BTS track, nor an artist from HYBE. It's an indie song titled "Two Souls in the Same Storm." A song no one has heard before. No singer listed, no details, but the description reads only, "When the world gets too loud, we sing in silence." The tension thickens. Could this be their song? Did Jungkook and Jimin just use BTS's official channel to slip a secret message?